Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, I really do hope that, and apologies, I've been away for a day and a bit, I guess. Things are pretty hectic with me right now. I've helped my sister move, and also, I'm in the midst of buying a flat, which is very stressful and complicated over here in the UK. But ultimately, it's a good thing, and hopefully within a few weeks, I should be in a new scenario. So I guess I'll still be green screening, but there might be, I might do some non-green screen stuff in the new little office and, you know, bring you on that journey with me. But welcome back to Chelsea News. And of course, it's the daily series, nearly, here on the channel, where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts and opinions on it, but more importantly, as always, asking for yours. Guys, the January transfer window is upon us, nearly. Now, it's a great, important thing, because Chelsea needs work. Chelsea are going to make serious moves, as well as the summer transfer window, where of course there's already agreements for Nkunku. We'll be looking to try and sign a potentially Declan Rice. There's so much to consider, and we're going to read a lot today. Settle in, get comfortable. Thank you for dropping a like on the video and subscribing. I appreciate all your support on the channel. And yeah, man, let's jump into it. Right, first of all, Christopher Nkunku to Chelsea, yet again, we won't spend much time on this, but yet again, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed, look, this is done. It did look like other clubs could come in for him. The news for a while now is Chelsea have signed a pre-agreement with him, that he's happy to join Chelsea, that they're happy to sell Chelsea at that price. You know, subject to anything else happening, though, there might be like other clubs that come in and waive silly money, but of course his injury has probably prevented that to a degree, but, you know, make no bones about it. Christopher Nkunku is one of the hottest attackers around in terms of how many people want him. We will pay more than 60 million euros for him, which might be like, what, 65 million pounds. Regardless, in terms of his age profile, his output, his technical ability, and his versatility, this will be a good transfer for Chelsea. A player that they want for a while, a player that Graham Potter seemingly likes. And we're good, we move. I do want to talk about other attackers, outgoings, but before I do, something else similarly I don't want to spend too much time on. João Felix. João Felix could be available in January. We've spoken about him on a recent video. PSG, Chelsea and United are all looking at him. Of course, he's very young. He cost a lot of money. He probably won't cost as much money to buy as Atletico Madrid paid for him. But again, he's another versatile sort of player that is an attacking talent that's playing in a defensive team that understandably wants to get the hell out of there. Could it be Chelsea? Maybe. I think I pinned a tweet on a previous video saying who would you rather, Nkunku or João Felix. It was, a lot of people said João Felix, but mainly Nkunku. It looks like we're going to get him. So let's move on and talk about potential outgoings before we talk about the midfield. So, Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic, two out-of-favour Chelsea wide attackers who have both recently won Man of the Match awards for their respective national countries in the World Cup finals. Ziyech looks good at times, doesn't he? I sent a tweet out joking, oh, that Hakim Ziyech looks good, we should try and buy him. I hear he's going to be available in January. Look, if you've watched this channel for a while, you will know that I've maintained for such a long time, all these players are good. All these players that we've got are good, these attackers. All of them. Like, you know, like Kai Havertz, this sort of generational Johan Cruyff 2.0 that everyone wanted. Ziyech, they just kept winning player of the season and in a really talented Ajax team, putting out crazy numbers with this immense passing ability. Pulisic. We've seen what Pulisic can do. You know, under Lampard in Project Restart, he was a sensation. All these players are talented. They can all do bits. But like we always say on the channel, it's down to dysfunction. It's down to systemic dysfunction, positional dysfunction, chopping and changing, and not starting from a joined up thinking. And the fact how we've hired all these recruitment staff makes you think, right, we're going to start from the bottom. These are the kind of players we want to buy, and this is the kind of football we want to play, and we're going to buy into that long term, which is as much as you're rightly can understandably be pissed off of how things have been going with Chelsea on the pitch, that's the plan. And praise all your respective gods that is the plan, because we all as Chelsea fans want that to happen. But in the meantime, Chelsea will have a clear out. Hakim Ziyech, of course, desperate to leave Chelsea, wanting to go to Milan. I'm taking some information here from Cy Phillips on Twitter, at Cy Phillips Sport. So Milan are considering launching a 6-month loan offer with a €15 million option to buy Hakim Ziyech from Chelsea. The player wants to return to being a key player at a big club, and for this reason, Milan hope they can agree cutting his salary. Ooh. Milan are champions of Italy. I believe they're in the title race in Serie A at the moment. Why wouldn't you want to go there? You know, starting for Milan, that's certainly a more higher profile than Ajax. It might be a bit of a, I don't know, where do you say a backward step from Chelsea? Because Chelsea recently won the Champions League with him, by the way. But domestically, they're a better team. But then again, we beat them twice recently. Let's just say a sideways step for Ziyech, but a sideways step where he can be a key player with an amazing fan base in a big stadium. Look, just for the sake of it, let's hope that happens. 6 months loan, hopefully with a loan fee. Certainly they pay the wages, €15 million, just take it. We've said this before, the new ownership group, Todd Boehly and gang, when he bought the Dodgers, they paid players to leave, let alone taking cut things. We've done this with Lukaku. Look, he'll say, who's players from the previous regime that aren't working right now? Lukaku and Ziyech, etc. Right, let's just take what we can for them and clear out and start again. No, any business. I love Hakim Ziyech. I think he is a really good, talented player, but there has to be joined up thinking now. If Chelsea are to become a good team again, you know, I tweeted out with Christian Pulisic and Hakim Ziyech with the man of the match trophy, saying maybe Chelsea is the problem, and to a degree it is, but that doesn't mean we keep these players, these talented players, these good players that will be better away from Chelsea. Because we have to start again from building a project. You got to build a house with the appropriate tools and foundations and materials. You can't have some wicked, shiny thing that's obviously very good to play a role in something that it doesn't fit. It's just not going to work. So that is Ziyech. Of course, another really, really huge talking point is Christian Pulisic. Clubs are in for Christian Pulisic. Reportedly, Arsenal, clubs want to loan him in January. And you can imagine if Christian Pulisic isn't going to give a shit about Chelsea. No offense. He won the Champions League, he scored big goals. He's not I know he went to training when he was a kid, but his heart does not beat for Chelsea Football Club. And that's not a criticism on him. That's because he's just some young guy from Hershey that cares about his brand, his football, understandably, and the US men's team, of course, because that's his national team. Understandably, he's not going to have... He came to Chelsea because we're a big club, there's an opportunity, not because he dreamt of playing for Chelsea one day. He probably easily would have gone to Liverpool and probably played quite well. That's just where we're at the moment. So, Pulisic, Chelsea reportedly don't want to loan him. They will make him available, so say if certain reports, in January for a sale. But if essentially, if he has a good World Cup, say the third game, even if USA don't qualify, if he has another good game, looks dynamic, the branding's hot, he's even if he's not captain, he's Captain America still, Chelsea have an opportunity to flog him for a few quid, and they'll look at it as the same ethos as, Hakim Ziyech. Let me know what you think. I think most of us would agree that both Ziyech and Pulisic are talented players, but there needs to be joined up thinking now on a data-led approach about the type of players we're going to get. And more importantly, to make forwards better is the midfield. So let's talk about that. Right, so it's a hot topic, and Chelsea will probably at least try and buy a midfielder in January. If not, they'll spend big in the summer, but I do believe personally they're going to make a move for a midfielder in the winter transfer window after the World Cup. Now, Matt Law of the Daily Telegraph has been speaking on the very good London is Blue podcast. He's spoken about both Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice. Of course, Jude Bellingham is a hot top property in the whole of Europe. He's only 19, yet he's very, very talented. He scores goals. He does pretty much everything in midfield. And for his age, considering he speaks like a captain already, people will be, he's played in Europe. He's playing in the Champions League. All teams will want Jude Bellingham. Now, apparently Chelsea will bid big for Jude Bellingham, so saith Matt Law, but they are not favourites to sign him. They will match any bid that is made for Jude Bellingham, but the move won't be just down to money. So that is very interesting. So this is Todd Boehly and Chelsea really flexing that financial muscle, saying whatever's bid for Jude Bellingham, whether it be Real Madrid, whether it be Liverpool or Man City, we will match that bid. So Chelsea clearly feel they're in a situation where they've got a freedom that's afforded to them to be financially loose. Like, Todd Boehly, he knows about financial fair play. He's spoken about it publicly at these conferences. So he knows it exists, but despite that, they're willing to take huge financial losses on Romelu Lukaku, Ziyech, and whoever, and they're willing to just keep constantly splashing cash. They obviously understand they're in a position to do so. Hence, this rather radically, not sweeping statement, but radical statement that they will match any bid for Bellingham. Now, Bellingham, again, won't have any particular affiliation to Chelsea. Maybe he fancies coming to London and he sees the project and the spending from Todd Boehly and clear, they're building something big. They're going to do a new stadium. They're building this young team. They've bought all these sensational teenagers that will be around me for ages. Hutchison, Maker. They want to buy Endrick. They're going to, so we'll have to pitch the project to him. But at the same time, this is a brave and confident lad that had no problem going to Borussia Dortmund when he was 16 years old. As a 19-year-old, if someone said to him, do you want to go to the Bernabeu, Real Madrid, and learn Spanish? I don't think he'd be like, oh, I'm scared, I want to go back to England. I think he'd be like, yeah, I belong there, I'm top boy, and see you later. Something to consider. Bellingham will be targeted by the best. Chelsea are not favourites, but they're certainly in with the mix. He does feel like he would be a game changer at Liverpool, but whether they can convince him, Liverpool, I think his family, his agents and everyone are going to sit down and have to have a proper reflect on what's going on. Let's talk about Declan Rice. There you go. There's your transition. So this is again coming from Matt Law from London is Blue. I'm reading the citation from Simon Phillips. West Ham are preparing to sell Declan Rice for around £70 million. Not £150 million. Not £120 million, not £100 million, £70 million. Now, by the end of last season, when he was having this amazing campaign, or, recently where his numbers were just going astronomically up and up and up, if someone said, right, you can have Declan Rice for 70 million, most people, even people with their doubts, provided you don't have an anti-English player agenda, most people, seeing how this guy is performing in the Premier League, at that age, with that injury record and that leadership quality, if someone said 70 million, most of them would go, all right, fine, bring me Declan Rice. So this is the price he will be available for in the summer, because he will have 1+1, 2 years left on his deal. He wants to leave, he won't re-sign. After that, they won't get that much for him. They're like, right, they're probably honouring him a little bit here by saying, right, we'll sell you for an affordable price. So Matt Law says this: there are 2 Premier League clubs ahead of Chelsea at the moment who have made big plays to sign Declan Rice. Now, Chelsea have long been interested in Declan Rice. Frank Lampard has recently come out and spoken about how he tried to sign him when he was managing Chelsea. We know from multiple sources, journalists and links, that Thomas Tuchel was a big fan of Declan Rice. And we know that Chelsea as a club, their scouts, granted the staff has all changed, but Chelsea have long been interested in Declan Rice. Now, 2 clubs ahead of Chelsea, you can assume whoever you want have come in for him. That doesn't mean they're going to get him. It means they've made, quote, big plays to sign him. Chelsea, as of yet, have not made a big play to sign him. Of course, we could look to sign 2 proper central defensive midfielders. We could lose both Kante and Jorginho. And then after the Kovacic's performance for Croatia, and of course being younger than both Kante and Jorginho, Kovacic is like 28. I would sign Kovacic on a new deal today, a 4+1. That takes him up to 32, which you can extend +1 if the club wants to. Kovacic, I know he's sometimes injured, but he's mustard, mate. I would sign Kovacic up. Potentially let both Kante and Jorginho go, both amazing players. Again, it's not a criticism on the players, it's just where we are. And then maybe sign 2 new central defensive midfielders or central midfielders. Of course, Declan Rice can be a proper CDM, but he can also be more of a central midfielder. We could sign Alvarez from Ajax, who was desperate to join Chelsea and nearly did join Chelsea in the summer, alongside Declan Rice. I know everyone wants Enzo Fernandez as well. Look, I reckon clubs have made approaches for Rice. Of course, he's a really, really, really desired player in European football, certainly Premier League football. It doesn't surprise me. I'm hoping Chelsea will also make a, quote, big play to sign him, and should we do so, one could hope and assume that because he's a Chelsea fan and loves Chelsea and, you know, Mason Mount's his best mate, yada, 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 and he's a London boy, etc., that he might choose Chelsea. You don't know. The guy's got to do what's best for his career at this point. Very, very interesting indeed, and one can hope we can sign him. Guys, I suggest you do keep it locked to Football Therapy over the coming weeks because, of course, the January transfer window will be popping for the West London Blues, and there'll be stories to react on, reflect on, and discuss between each other. So I thank you for joining me, and, you know, I recommend you like, comment, subscribe, help me out with the interactions. Make sure you turn on the bell, the sweet, sweet bell. Keep it locked, bro, and I will look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Peace.